I like using AI when writing code, but to get good results, I sometimes need to write very long prompts.
You need to add skills to your coding agent. Let me break down the 7 skill design patterns you need to know and give you an example of each one.
Welcome back to the show, Debashu. Please remind viewers what you do here at Google.
Thanks for having me, Martin. I work on generative AI for recommendation systems in YouTube advertising.
Very good. And you said we should stop writing long prompts for our coding agents, right?
Exactly. Long prompts confuse the agent. Instead, you should use modular skills. The agent only reads a short description of each skill and then dynamically loads the full skill only when it needs it.
And skills are just text files, I believe. And where do you put them?
That's right. Just drop the skill folder into .agents/skills under your project root for a single project, or in Gemini/config/skills to use them globally across all projects.
Simple enough.
The open source agent skills repo is a goldmine of these. I have categorized them into 7 design patterns, spanning from basic domain knowledge to advanced pipelines. Let's start with the simplest one.
All right. And that's domain knowledge. So what does that mean?
These skills make the agent an expert in a particular topic. That means it can write better code for you. In the repo, we found 3 great examples: front-end UI engineering, performance optimization, and API and interface design.
So if the agent is working on a front-end user interface, it dynamically loads the front-end UI engineering skill?
Exactly. It loads skills when needed and drops them when done.
Well, I guess the agent can't remember everything all the time. It's a bit like you and me that way, huh?
Haha, that's right. Also, if you're using Google Cloud, you should check out the Google Skills repo on GitHub. It contains skills that makes your coding agent an expert in Cloud Run, AlloyDB, BigQuery, Cloud SQL, and so many other Google services.
All right. Next on your list is tool wrappers.
These skills give the agent access to a particular tool that it can use to get feedback on its code quicker. The browser testing with DevTools is an example of a tool wrapper. It lets the agent use Chrome DevTools so it can see what happens in the browser when code runs. You won't have to manually copy and paste error messages and network dumps to the agent.
I'm so tired of copying errors around. So that sounds very useful.
Me too. Another example is Git workflow and versioning, which can run Git commands for you. This allows you to focus on logic rather than the syntax of Git commands.
All right. Next on your list is inversion. That sounds intriguing.
These skills force the agent to stop guessing and ask clarifying questions instead.
Who does the agent ask?
It asks you, the developer. You know more about the context or the code being written. And if the agent asks you, you don't have to write down all that context up front. The repo has 3 great inversion skills. Number 1, context engineering. 2, planning and task breakdown. 3, debugging and error recovery.
The debugging and error recovery skill sounds very useful. I make errors all the time. How does that skill work?
It stops the AI from just throwing random code at a bug. It forces the agent into a root cause analysis workflow, making it ask you for logs and state data before it is allowed to write a single line of code.
Nice.
I should also mention the Grill Me skill. This is so useful that Google built it into anti-gravity, so you don't have to install it. Just add /drill me after your prompt, and anti-gravity will ask you a series of questions to clarify your requirements.
I love how that forces both me and the agent to stop and think. All right, next are generators.
Generators harness the AI's creativity to produce structured output. If you hate formatting, download these three. 1. Spec-driven development. 2. Documentation and ADRs. And 3. Source-driven development.
What are ADRs?
ADRs mean architecture decision records. It is a formal way of writing down architectural decisions you have made, like which database to use.
So once you've made an architectural decision, you write it down so that anti-gravity knows about it and follows it?
Yes. It extracts the decisions and designs and slots them into the exact markdown templates stored in its folder. Consistent project context every single time.
Very good. Next on your list is reviewers. So that's when the agent reviews your code, right?
That's right. Before we ship anything, we need to review it. This is where the agent grades output against a checklist. These reviewers could look for code smells, security holes, or make sure that your code follows other best practices. Some examples from the repo are 1. Code review and quality, and 2. Security and hardening.
So the security and hardening skill grades my code?
Yes, it acts as a multi-layered security scanner. I use reviewer skills all the time at work.
Well, I like to review the code created by the agent myself, but I wouldn't mind a second pair of eyes using a reviewer skill. Okay, Debashu, next on your list is pipelines. That sounds a little more complex.
The pipeline skills orchestrate multiple steps into a strict assembly line. Check out test-driven development, CI/CD and automation, and incremental implementation.
What does the test-driven development skill actually do?
It uses a 3-step pipeline when writing code. Step 1, write the failing test. Step 2, write the code. Step 3 is cleaning up the code while making sure that the unit tests you wrote in step 1 still pass.
I never really got into test-driven development before. There was a lot of process and ceremony. But with some agent help, it might be easier to do it. So finally, we have meta skills. I like the sound of that. What do these skills actually do?
Meta skills are skills that govern other skills. Now, the open source repo has a brilliant meta skill called using agent skills, which acts as a master router to coordinate all of the other skills. There are even skills that create other skills.
So it's like a manager of the agent's brain?
Exactly. It makes the agent use the right skills at the right time.
Got it. But I have a question for you, Debashu. What if I need a certain capability, but I can't find a ready-made skill for it? For example, I used to work at a place where we had very strict rules for how we handled credit card numbers. And I don't see a skill for that in this repo.
Then it's time to write your own skills. It's just a text file, so it's not hard. Our coworker, Roman Irani, has published a code lab that walks you through creating new skills and installing them in anti-gravity. And don't forget to evaluate your new skills. The white paper has a good section on how to do just that.
Nice. I will include a link to that code lab and the white paper in the video description below. All right, good stuff. Let's review.
To recap, you are looking at 7 ways to level up your agent with skills. Use domain knowledge skills when your agent needs domain-specific knowledge without bloating its long-term memory. And if you're using Google Cloud, check out Google's official repo of skills. Use tool wrappers when your agent needs to use an external tool like Chrome DevTools or Git. Use inversion when a task is ambiguous and the agent needs to halt and ask clarifying questions instead of guessing. Use generators when you need to force the creative output into a strictly structured, predictable template. Use reviewers when you need an automated gatekeeper to grade code against strict security and quality checklists. Use pipelines when you want to orchestrate multi-step sequential workflows with strict execution guards.
And don't forget meta skills, my favorite, using AI to manage those other skills for you.
That's right. We've linked the agent skills repository in the description below, so you can clone these production-ready skills right now.
And thanks for sharing this with us, Debashu.
Thanks for having me, Martin.
And thank you, everyone, for watching. If you have any questions for Debashu or me, please add them in the comments below. And let us know which of these patterns you're going to try first, or if you built a custom skill of your own. Also, I'd love to hear if this episode was useful to you. I read every single comment. Now go build something great. Your smarter agent coworker is just a few clicks away.